Hello everybody, Jason F. Smith here with a new review for you. This time it's Everdell. So I want to call out to Z Garcia of the Dice Tower because he did an excellent review of this game. And I just wanted to tell you, sorry I looked down for a second because of my screen went blurry. I wanted to tell you that I ended up buying the game because of Z's review and I like his format, and so I'm going to follow most of it here. I have different conclusions than he does, but that's okay. So, Everdell is a board game, and the theme of the board game is that you are a woodland critter and you are preparing for winter through the spring, through the summer, and through the fall. And it's got a point system, so you build a city out, and the idea is that you're preparing for winter to survive the cold that's coming. So winter is coming, right? Now, that seemed really interesting to me. And when I first played the game, the first 3 or 4 times, I kept thinking something's wrong. And I finally put my finger on it. You see that theme? Doesn't have anything to do with the game. It's just a pure worker placement game. I thought, and I still think, that there's richness, there's soil there's nutrients in that soil, that winter is coming, so that you have to prepare the best way possible to survive, right? And instead, you just build a city. You just build a city full of these cool interlinking worker placement cards, and it doesn't matter. Some cards are worth more than others, and just get the most points. They don't have to make sense. They don't have to thematically mean that you've produced, that you've planted enough food, that you've found a shelter, that you've harvested the food, stored the food, and you've got enough to make it through winter, that you're going to live. I think that's a fantastic theme. Everdell, and told from an animal point of view, like squirrels and animals and rabbits out there collecting shit and getting their survival, right? And if they don't make it, they die. You know what that theme reminds me of? A fantastic book. I'll put a link down in the description, called the Mrs. Frisbee and the Rats of Nim. They made a movie of it called The Secret of Nim, but the book, and I think it's Richard O'Brien, I could be totally wrong on that. Read that as a kid. I've read it many times, read it to my kids. One of my all-time favorite books. Just so fantastic. So many layers to it. Mrs. Frisbee and the Rats of Nim. And that basically is a story at its core about a group of rats, Mrs. Frisbee and her children, preparing for winter. That's what that's about. And so, it's dire. Like, if they don't do it, they're gonna die. And that theme sounds so powerful and fun. I think I would love to see a board game do that. Now, on the other side, once I disabused myself of that notion, threw that out, and saw Everdell for what it is, a absolutely tight as can be worker placement game, then I really started to like it. Then I thought, fuck the theme. I'm here to score more points than you, and I don't care how I do it. Like, I'm just going to do it. Theme out the window. Like, the city doesn't have to make sense. It doesn't have to help me survive. I just need more points than you, motherfucker. Okay, so that's my theme. Okay, the atmosphere, though, of the game, let me talk a little bit. They have this cool little tree that you build, right? It's called the Ever Tree, and it's kind of like a table presence is what they call it. It's kind of cool, right? It doesn't really work too well if you got a lot of people around it, because if you're on the back side of the tree, you're kind of fucked. But it's pretty cool. It's a little cool thing. Some people like it. Some people think it's just bullshit. I think it's pretty cool. It's cool to build this little tree, and you put cards in it, you put cards in between it, your little workers on it. And so it's kind of a neat little thing. But the bottom line is that this is a worker placement game. Okay, so that's the theme, that's the atmosphere. Let's talk about aesthetics. Oh, I just did. The tree, right? And the cards look nice. There's 4 different pieces that you need to gather. There's sticks, and they got these cool little wooden sticks. You've got resin, which are these little orange gold gems. You've got stone, which are these wonderfully made little pebbles, and the best are the berries, which are little rubber berries. Fantastic, just fantastic aesthetics. Love it. Well done. It's just fun. The cards. The cards are fantastic as well. Really made of high quality stock with fantastic artwork. Just love the aesthetics, the tree, the whole thing just shines. Really well made. Thank you. That's the way you should do it. The rule book, right? I'll talk about that in a second. Let's go to replayability. I have not played any of the expansions. Right now, I would say it has pretty high replayability. But the first time you play it, you're going to think, gosh, it's kind of a quick game. The last time I played it, and I played it a lot with 2 players. Me and my wife played it. We played it with 4 people, and it's a longer game. It's a longer game when you play it with 4 people. It can go on and on and on. And it goes on and on with 2 players because you start to figure it out and you create an engine and you're like generating shit like you can't believe. It's real fun. I've explored some strategies, and I think there's a lot of room to explore it some more. But I will say, and I'm jumping ahead here, that in terms of game length, it gets a little long when you're with 4 players. And that's been a theme of mine lately. I'm beginning to really, I used to like, I should do a video about this, but I'll do a video about it, but I used to like larger games, you know, more players the better. And the more I'm coming down to it, I'm not a solo gamer, but I like a 2-player game. And Everdell works really well as a 2-player game. You can just focus on your own game and just get after it. Okay, so game length, I think we talked about ease of play. In this day and age, you know, you got a good rule book. The rule book is really clear. I went to YouTube, learned how to play. Was it Rodney from Watch It Played? I'm pretty sure it was. If he teaches a game, then you're in because he does it so well. I mean, he makes it look easy, but it's not easy because a lot of people are doing how to play videos out there, which is something I probably won't do because Rodney just does it so well that there's no need. Like, screw it. He does it so well. So a lot of kudos to you, Rodney. I love it. Love how thorough and detailed. It just, a lot of thought goes into his reviews, way more than I think anyone gives him credit. So I watched that. We sat and played it. We just dived in. We've kind of overcome a game turbulence is another topic I should talk about someday is game rule turbulence. In this case, the rules were fine. We learned, we played. By the second game, by the third game, by the fourth game, we just, you know, it was just easy as could be. It was easy to teach as well. Really, the first time players when I brought the other 2 people in, besides my wife and I learned it together, and then we brought 2 other people in, and they had it figured out pretty quick. Like they were up and we got them going real quick. And I don't think that's all us. I mean, we're good at teaching, but it's the game lends itself to that. And so, okay, tactics and strategy. The game is really well done. Like, it's tight. I really like it. I really like the layers. I do wish it had more theme. I'm kind of a theme person, right? I've talked about that before. In this case, though, I gotta say, it's tight. The strategies, you know, and if you play them right and you start to realize that it becomes a game of optimization, right? You want to start to really, it seems simple. You got 2 guys to start with, 1, 2, first round's over. But as it gets rolling, as you generate the engine and it turns on, each step starts to become important. And you may have 30 steps. And if you're going to win, you better optimize each one of those steps. That's a cool game. That's a cool game. It gets to the point, though, where if you're good and someone's not, you're going to win every time. You're just going to out-optimize them across the board. Like, they'll flail, woo! But you can stay right on point and just each move, just perfect. And, you know, it's stressful, and you've got to keep your brain going, but I like that kind of game. So overall, I really like Everdell. I don't know how long it's going to last. Like, I don't know. My wife's already kind of wearing out on it. We also got Wingspan, and maybe me and her will do an Everdell review together. That would be really fun, see her take on it. But for me, I think it's got more plays in it. I think it does. But I like the way I can refine and play it and get better at it. And I think that's something that's important to me in a game. Wingspan, on the other hand, I just keep getting my ass kicked. And I don't know that I can get any better. So that game's just pissing me off. So, okay, Everdell, great game. I think it retails for 30 to 40 bucks. It's been on the top of the, you know, Board Game Geek list for a year or so. It's been there for a long while. I finally gave it a try. Z's review really, cinched it for me. I really enjoy the game. I don't think you can go wrong. If you really don't like it, I think you can pack it up and, pay 40 bucks for it, sell it for 20 or trade it in. I think you'll be fine. So far, I haven't played any of the expansions. I don't know that I ever will. Right now, I'm really happy with where it's at. And maybe someday I'll do follow-up videos like a year later. Do I ever play Everdell, or does it just get tossed? Is it done? Right now, it's in the rotation. We played a lot, and I think you'll enjoy it. So, for everybody out there, in honor of Rodney, thanks for watching.